kind of weird, Jackson. Do you remember back in his, I don't know, late as like the early 2000s when you couldn't even say idiot on the radio and shit? Do you guys remember that?
I think Andrew, that was a Fairly Odd Parents episode where you can't say moron on the radio.
No,
it wasn't a real thing.
You couldn't. You remember how Eminem would have songs and they would censor? So it was I'm Slim Shady, and when he said "nothing, you idiots," they would literally censor that part.
Do you remember when my friend Timmy Turner came over?
I think to Andrew's point, I think that was just like, they choose how to edit it. I don't think idiot was like a prohibited word on the radio. They just happened to take that out for their own little edit to be super safe. I don't think it was like a guideline. But
that's kind of just where I'm compiling on my point for Jackson, where it's like with music, it's kind of weird. Like the guidelines seem to be all over the place. It's like, okay, just that long ago, you took out saying the word idiot from that song to be safe. But now they censor the words, but the video is literally like 2 pixels away from pussy. It's weird.
It seems like people, it's like the whole violence is, okay, but sex isn't okay in entertainment. It just doesn't make much moral sense to me.
You can't say that as you're talking about you can't say the word, but you can show it. Like that's interesting. Think about it.
That's what I mean.
Well, think about it on that end. It's interesting that you can show it, but you can't say it. I could be like cock and it gets censored, but if I show a penis in like an art video or a medical video, that's fine. Or in a music video or something.
What's funny to me is that I don't know if it's just America, but you guys as FCC, I guess the rules are still based on some religious ideas. So when someone like Ben Shapiro, who's on the radio reading the song's lyrics, he has to go like wet ass P word, S word, and such. But he just openly says the word whore because the word whore is in the Bible. So it's actually okay for you to say the word whore.
That's a big pet peeve of mine when people have to self-censor when it comes to like professionalism. So if people are like on the news and they're reading a transcript, let's say there was a robbery or a big news story and a guy with a gun is like, get on the fucking ground, and they're reading the transcript or playing the audio, they have to censor the word fuck. It's like, what the fuck? Kids aren't watching the news. Why are you censoring it?
Yeah, but they might be in the same room or something. I don't mind that as much because it would just be so boring if every word was completely out there all the time. Right? I mean, if all the kids immediately learn the word fuck and it's everywhere and there's no reservations, there's no difference between us talking about dicks and farts and fucks and pussies and you get the same exact thing from CNN or something. Okay, at that point it's just boring. The word isn't... It's lame now.
Well, but the word is already boring. I mean, kids learn curse words by like 2nd grade, whether they're trying to or not.
Exactly. I mean, they learned them, but what I mean is, like, they learned them and they like them. The first time you learn the word fuck, you're like, fuck this, fuck that, fucking fuck, right? Like a little child. Mm-hmm. Because you think, oh, it's naughty. It's a naughty word. It's spicy. And it wears off, but... it's still, at least there's a little bit of a spunk to it. At least it's a tiny bit interesting to every once in a while hear someone say shit who wouldn't usually say it.
Yeah, but you're talking about treating like news shows or whatever the same way as like kids, where they feel scared. Well, not scared, but they're not allowed to say those words.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying in the censorship angle for a lot of places. Like if you have it in regular TV, I get it because there's a lot of families watching or like sensitive viewers. But if I'm watching something that's adult, very clearly mature, professional in tone, like, I don't know, a court proceeding and they're reading a transcript or the news or something like that, or they're playing the audio of an event and it's like, here's the audio in question and someone's swearing. It's like, what's the point of bleeping the words? It just feels kind of hokey, kind of dumb.
Like if they were reporting on 9/11, but they couldn't say the words terrorist and explosion.
Yeah, really? Exactly. It's like we know what you're referencing. Okay, like so that, I mean that's kind of an example. Imagine you're watching footage of 9/11 because they're like covering the story, and they're like, unfortunately, while this was happening, the guy recording said "fuck" a bunch, so we're gonna have to mute the entire audio. It's like, well, what? Why would you do that?
Just screaming "fuck."
Well, I would do that if the building next to me exploded. I mean,
Yeah, but I would probably still mute that if it's like going on a news show. I don't
see,
know.
and that's my point. If it's on the news, I think you shouldn't mute it so you can get the actual like what happened and see it.
Yeah,
and hear
but
it,
I mean,
you know?
the point.
I'd leave it in, but I'd pitch the voice,
Make
up
him
so
sound
it's
like
all
a squeaky
goofy.
child saying it.
Like Mickey Mouse.
So it's less offensive.
But see,